The moment Caitlin Clark stepped onto the floor at Team USA camp, the entire basketball world shifted. What Kara Lawson casually described as looking good on both ends was, in reality, a full-blown statement performance that silenced every doubt surrounding Caitlin Clark's health, dominance, and future as the face of USA basketball. After nearly 5 months away from competitive play and a sophomore season wrecked by injuries, Clark didn't ease her way back. She detonated the gym with pace, confidence, and command. From the first possession, she pushed tempo like a general leading an army, drilling deep threes, slicing defenses with laser passes, and dictating every rhythm change on the floor. The burst was back. The balance was back. The swagger that once shattered 62 records in her rookie season was unmistakably back. Coaches, analysts, and teammates instantly felt it. Sue Bird, now managing director, couldn't hide her excitement as Clark turned practice into a showcase of control and inevitability. Every dribble screamed leadership. Every decision looked elite. This wasn't a player fighting for a roster spot. This was a player claiming ownership of the next Olympic cycle. Her conditioning looked sharp, her reads were faster than anyone else's, and her gravity warped defenses even when she wasn't shooting. The whispers about whether her rookie year was a fluke evaporated in real time. Clark didn't just prove she was healthy, she proved the league had forgotten how devastating she is when she's free, confident, and trusted. Team USA didn't just get a guard back, they got their future cornerstone. Chemistry like this isn't built, it's revealed. The instant Clark shared the floor with Aaliyah Boston, Team USA coaches knew they were witnessing something rare. Years of Indiana Fever continuity showed immediately as Clark threaded impossible passes into tight windows, finding Boston in stride, on seals, on rolls, and in transition before defenders could even react. Clark rebounded and exploded up the floor, forcing defenses into panic mode, while Boston sprinted knowing the reward was coming. That dribble handoff burst, that downhill acceleration, that no-look delivery, this was elite basketball IQ in motion. Clark didn't hunt shots, she hunted advantages. She elevated everyone around her, including Jackie Young, hitting cutters perfectly and controlling spacing like a veteran floor general. What separated Clark from every other guard in camp wasn't just skill, it was orchestration. She understood when to push, when to pause, when to shoot, and when to let the defense destroy itself. Her presence alone demanded attention, opening lanes and freeing teammates. This is why defenders never leave her, even after misses, her gravity is weaponized. While others focused on individual moments, Clark focused on collective dominance. Her voice directed traffic. Her tempo dictated outcomes. Her confidence spread through the gym. Within minutes, the competition narrative collapsed. There was no battle at point guard anymore, there was clarity. Clark didn't fit into Team USA's system. Team USA's system started to orbit around her. Dynasties begin the moment a leader separates from the field. By day 2, the contrast was unavoidable. While Angel Reese fought to define her role, Clark defined the entire direction of the program. Reese brought effort and rebounding, but Clark brought inevitability. Her efficiency, vision, and control exposed the gap between role contribution and franchise leadership. Coaches smiled when Clark made reads. They nodded when she adjusted coverages. Their body language said everything words didn't. This camp wasn't about who might make the roster, it was about who would shape the next decade. Clark's return marked the official passing of the torch, blending USA basketball's gold medal standard with a new era of pace, spacing, and fearless shot-making. From U16 dreams to senior team command, Clark's journey reached a defining checkpoint here. Fully healthy, fully confident, fully in control, she locked in her place as the starting point guard for the future, Germany 2026, Los Angeles 2028, and beyond. This wasn't a comeback story. This was a reclamation of dominance. Team USA didn't just find a player ready to win, they found the one everything will be built around. This was the exact moment Team USA stopped evaluating and started committing. By the end of camp sessions, the conversation inside the gym had quietly shifted from competition to confirmation, because what unfolded wasn't just a great return, it was a declaration of control over the future of USA basketball. Every drill reinforced the same truth: Caitlin Clark wasn't shaking off rust, she was setting the standard. Her conditioning climbed rep by rep, her decision-making never dipped, and her command only grew stronger as the pace intensified. Defenses collapsed on her instinctively, not because she demanded the ball, but because everyone knew what happened if they didn't. 1/2 second of space turned into a deep three. One late rotation became a back-cut dime. One gamble opened the floor for a teammate to feast. This is how elite leaders separate themselves: they force opponents and teammates alike to react to them. The coaching staff no longer watched Clark to see what she could do, they watched everyone else to see how they responded to her presence. That's when a player stops being part of a roster and starts becoming the identity. Clark's return also erased the last lingering narrative that injuries had somehow diminished her explosiveness or edge. The burst through gaps, the sudden stop on a dime stepbacks, the way she accelerated in transition with the ball glued to her hand, it all screamed freedom. This wasn't cautious basketball. This was fearless basketball. You could see it in the way she attacked switches, the way she welcomed pressure, the way she smiled after making the right play instead of the flashy one. That confidence radiated outward. Teammates cut harder. Screens were set with purpose. Players ran lanes knowing the ball would find them if they earned it. That's leadership without speeches, authority without volume. The gym felt different because the game felt simpler when she was on the floor. And this is where the dynasty talk stops sounding dramatic and starts sounding logical. Team USA has always had talent. What it needs at the start of a new cycle is a central nervous system, a player who can blend youth with championship expectations, speed with discipline, creativity with accountability. Clark checked every box in real time. The injuries didn't break her, they sharpened her. The months away didn't dull her instincts, they clarified them. She returned not desperate to prove herself, but secure in who she is. That's why the separation was so stark. Others were fighting for validation. Clark was building continuity. Others played to survive cuts. Clark played to set the blueprint. When the official rosters are announced, it will feel like a formality, because the real decision already happened on the floor. Team USA didn't just witness a player come back healthy, they watched the foundation of the next era lock into place. From this camp forward, every lineup decision, every scheme, every long-term plan will start with one assumption: the ball is in Caitlin Clark's hands. And once that assumption is made, everything else becomes clearer, faster, and far more dangerous for the rest of the world. This wasn't a comeback anymore, this was a takeover that closed the door on debate. As the final stretches of camp unfolded, the separation between Caitlin Clark and everyone else stopped being subtle and started being undeniable, because what she showed wasn't just elite skill, it was inevitability. Every possession with Caitlin Clark on the floor felt predetermined in the best way possible, like the game itself was bending toward her decisions. She controlled tempo without forcing it, manipulated defenders with her eyes before her hands, and punished even the smallest mistakes with ruthless efficiency. This is the level where basketball stops being about talent and becomes about mastery, and Clark operated there comfortably. You could feel the trust building possession by possession. Teammates stopped hesitating. Cuts became sharper. Spacing became instinctive. When Clark had the ball, everyone else knew exactly what their job was, and more importantly, they believed they'd be rewarded for doing it right. That belief is rare, and it's contagious. From the sideline, Sue Bird watched with the kind of calm satisfaction that only comes when a long-term vision clicks into focus. This wasn't about one camp or one tournament. This was about the next decade. Clark didn't just look like she belonged, she looked like the reference point. The way she communicated on defense, called out actions before they unfolded, and corrected spacing mid-possession showed a level of command that can't be coached into someone. It's earned. And after everything she endured, injuries, doubt, silence, she didn't return desperate or reckless. She returned precise, calculated, confident. That's why her presence felt heavy. Not loud. Heavy. The kind that presses on opponents mentally before the ball even tips. The most revealing part wasn't the deep threes or the highlight passes, as breathtaking as they were. It was how calm everything felt when she ran the show. Chaos turned into order. Pressure turned into opportunity. The game slowed down for everyone because it had already sped up for her. That's when you know a player isn't just good, they're foundational. Others at camp were still proving they deserved a role. Clark was proving she defined the structure. In a room full of elite athletes, she made elite basketball feel simple. By the time practice wrapped, there was no dramatic announcement, no headline moment, no loud proclamation, but the message was crystal clear. Team USA's future had already chosen its voice. The new Olympic cycle didn't begin with a speech or a ceremony. It began with a point guard quietly taking ownership of the floor. And once that happened, everything else followed naturally. The torch wasn't handed to Caitlin Clark. She took it cleanly, confidently, and without asking permission. When greatness returns quietly, it's usually because it no longer needs to announce itself. What made Caitlin Clark's presence at Team USA camp truly unsettling, for opponents and doubters alike, wasn't just how dominant she looked, but how normal dominance seemed to her. There was no forcing, no rushing, no sense of urgency to prove anything. Caitlin Clark moved like someone who already knew the outcome and was simply executing the steps to get there. After everything she endured, the injuries, the interruptions, the noise, she didn't come back playing angry basketball. She came back playing certain basketball. Certain in her reads. Certain in her body. Certain in her place within the hierarchy of the gym. That certainty is what separated her from the rest. Everyone else felt the pressure of selection. Clark felt the responsibility of leadership. You could see it in the smallest moments. How she jogged teammates into the right spots without breaking stride. How she corrected spacing with a hand signal instead of words. How she absorbed contact, popped right back up, and immediately initiated the next action. Those details told the real story. This wasn't a player easing into form. This was a player whose internal clock never stopped ticking, even while sidelined. The game never left her. It waited. And now that she was back, it flowed through her again naturally. The injuries didn't steal her instincts, they sharpened her awareness. She played with patience, not hesitation. With aggression, not recklessness. That balance is what elite international basketball demands. And it's why the coaches stopped talking about if she fits and started planning around her. This camp quietly confirmed something much bigger than a roster decision. It confirmed that the next era of USA basketball will be paced, timed, and emotionally anchored by one player who understands both freedom and discipline. Clark represents the bridge between generations, between styles, between tradition and evolution. She can stretch defenses from the logo, yet she's just as dangerous making the simple read that breaks a scheme. She embraces pressure without letting it leak into chaos. That's not learned overnight. That's built through experience, loss, recovery, and clarity. As camp closed, there was no sense of relief in Clark's body language, only alignment. She looked exactly where she was supposed to be. Healthy. Confident. Central. And that's the most dangerous version of any great player. Because when someone with her skill finally feels whole again, the conversation stops being about whether she's back. It becomes about how everyone else plans to keep up.